This is the Udfine Mic Lite. It is specifically designed for cell phones. So if you're a YouTuber, TikToker, Instagrammer, one of those guys, you're going to want to watch this video on this microphone system because this one might be the right one for you. So keep watching because you're watching Blue Collar Guy. Okay, we're back. So today we're talking about the Udfine Mic Lite. And Udfine is kind of an affiliate of Xiaomi. So if you want to know what Udfine is, well, they make stuff with Xiaomi. And Xiaomi, as you know, they're a big telephone company. So if you want a microphone system that works well with cell phones, well, who better than a microphone company that works with a cell phone company? Yeah. So before we go any further, full disclosure, Udfine did send me out this microphone system. However, this is not a sponsored video. I am not a Udfine affiliate. I'm not an Amazon affiliate. So if you buy one of these, I don't get a commission. I don't want a commission. They just sent me out this microphone system for review and testing. That's it. Having said that, let's go to the downward shot and see what you get in the box. Okay, so in the box, you get this box. This is a charging case, and it's actually got a unique feature right here. So if I open and close the little door, there's going to be a display that comes up. Let me just activate it here. Okay, so right now we're at 99%. And that's nice because you can actually see the percentage of the charge, which is a lot like your phone. So when you look at your phone, it'll tell you the percentage of your charge. It's not just going to have the four little dots. It's very, very good at telling you what the exact percentage of charge that you have. So on the front of the case, they have the logo. On the bottom of the case, they have the USB-C charging. So it does have USB-C charging. And when you open up the case, you have the receiver that goes on your smartphone. You have a transmitter. You have a transmitter. And then in the box, you also get a charging cable. And you also get these little wind muffs, which go on the transmitters. Now, if you look at the transmitters, they don't have little magnets. However, they do have nice clips. And the clips are somewhat glove friendly because I did notice that they were very easy to handle. Now, if you look at the receiver is quite unique in that it's got 3 levels of gain over here, which you can control. It also has indicator lights to see which transmitter is active. And then, of course, it has this button over here, which allows you to do pairing. And over here, it's got pass-through charging, so you can charge your phone while you're using this receiver. Now, what's really unique is look at this. You have one connector for your iPhone, and you have another connector for an Android phone, or maybe a newer iPhone. And I'm just going to go back to me for a quick sec. Okay, so when you look at this transmitter, you'll notice it has both connectors on it. And it's got one for Android and one for iOS. And you don't have to worry about losing anything because they're both built into this little box right here. Now, I know that some people are going to say, well, it might not reach because you're going to have one that interferes with the other. However, I have a solution for that. You get one of these little extension things right here. You plug that in like so. And then even if you have your case on, you can still plug it in. I'm even going to try it out on my Osmo Pocket 3. That's what I'm using for my studio camera right now. We're going to test it out to see if it works on that camera and see what it sounds like. So before we do that, let's take a look at these transmitters a little closely because they have some buttons on them. Okay, so on this transmitter here, you have a button here and you've got one here. Now if I put this one down like so, that activates the noise cancellation. If I lift it up, it unactivates the noise cancellation. If I click on this one once, it's going to turn on the reverb. If I click on it again, it's going to shut the reverb off. However, you can't see it because it's not plugged in my phone right now. So if I click it twice, it's going to activate the mute button. Now, the other thing I want to point out is these wind muffs, because these wind muffs actually fit on here really well. And they kind of hook in over this button. So I'm just going to go back to me for a second. So I'm going to give it a shake, and you're going to see that it's actually on there pretty good. And the clip is actually a good size. So if you clip them on things, they will stay there. Might also be useful for people that use action cameras, things like that, because they might want to clip it on the little strap in their helmet if they're going to use it with an action camera, because I do believe you can use this with action cameras as well. And then you'll have two transmitters. Yeah, two. So let's hook this up to my phone. So right now, if I take my phone and I unplug the extension, so I don't need the extension, and then I just plug it in like so, on there, you're going to see some lights come on. Now, this little light over here is your gain. This one over here is your transmitter number 1 and transmitter number 2. So if I take the transmitters here, and I'm going to turn one of them on. So let's just turn one on. And then it pairs right away. And now this is transmitter number 1. And then if I click down here, then you're going to see that the noise cancellation just turned on right here. If I click on this twice, or once, if I click on this once, I should say, it's going to activate the reverb. And if I click on it twice, now I've muted the microphone. Now it doesn't turn red, so it just stays blue. However, it does come on down here. So it's got more indicator lights on here than on the mic active. So I did a review on the mic active, so you might want to check out that video as well. So I'm just going to click on this twice and unmute it, click on it once, take off the reverb, and then if I undo this switch, then the noise cancellation is off. So you've got a lot more controls to deal with all of these different features. If I turn up here, it's got a nice capsule, it's got a nice little grill up here, and the capsule's underneath there. Now I'm just going to go back to me real quick. So Udfine makes things with Xiaomi and for Xiaomi, which is a big phone company. So I have no doubt that the capsules in these little transmitters are really, really good. If you're doing a lot of things with your phone, you might want to consider that. Okay, so now we're going to go to the outdoor shot. I'm going to show you some footage that I took outside. I did some testing outside, did some range testing. I did the tests on the reverb, the noise cancellation, all that good stuff. Then we're going to come back to the studio. I'm going to hook this up to the Osmo Pocket 3, which is a very popular vlogging camera and YouTube camera, Instagram camera, TikTok camera. So if you have one of these cameras, it's very important to know if this microphone system plays well with this camera. And then we're going to talk about what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and have our final thoughts. So let's go to that outdoor shot and see that footage. Okay, so this is the Udfine Mic Lite microphone system. It is a 2-transmitter wireless microphone system, and you use it with your smartphone. Now, I am currently using a Google Pixel 8, so it's not the latest phone. However, it is not one of their older phones either. The receiver is just that. It is light, meaning that if you had your phone on a gimbal, it's not going to throw your gimbal off with a lot of excessive weight. Meaning that if you put it on your gimbal, it's not going to make your gimbal go out of calibration. Right now I'm exactly 4 feet 4 inches from the smartphone. We're going to be doing a range test on the Mic Lite, so I'm going to slowly be walking backwards, and my cameraman is going to guide me. And we're going to see how well the Mic Lite does. And then we're going to test out the noise cancellation feature. And I think it might also have reverb. We tested reverb on the other one as well. So we're going to see if this one has reverb. Oh, I've got to go this way a bit. So now we're at 31 feet. I'm going to turn to the right. Can you still hear me? I'm going to turn away from the camera. Can you still hear me? Is it distorted? Is it cutting in and out? And I'm going to turn to this side of me, and does that make any difference? Is it cut in and out? Is it distorted? And now we're back facing the camera again. So we're going to be going farther away, and we are at 40 feet, and right now we are at 50 feet. So this is 50 feet. And this is usually where I say, hey, this is the limit. You know, if you can get this out of a microphone system in all directions, you're doing pretty good. So if I turn to the right, did I cut in and out? If I'm away from the camera, did I cut in and out? I'm just gonna clear out some pollen there. Okay, so now I'm away from the camera, did it cut in and out? Now I'm to the right, did it cut in and out? And now I'm facing the camera again, did it cut in and out? Now I'm going to walk this way, a little bit off to this way, got to make sure that I'm still in frame. So we're going this way, and okay. And we're walking backwards still. We're at 77 feet, 80 feet, 83 feet. And now we're getting at the ridiculous level of 100 feet. So this is exactly 100 feet 9 inches. Yes, I brought a very accurate wheel with me. So I'm going to turn to the right. Is it cutting in and out? Turning away. Is it cutting in and out? Over here, this side, is it cutting in and out? I'm doing both sides just because of the positioning of the transmitter. I have the wind muff on because it is windy today, and they use a different wind muff on this one than they do on the mic active. So this is the mic lite, and I don't know yet if I'll be doing separate. I might be doing separate video from this one from the mic active. We'll see, but they are very unique microphones in their own right, so I may just separate these videos. So I'm going back further. How does the sound quality sound? And I am getting eaten alive by bugs, so I sure hope that people appreciate this, because it is black fly season out here. Okay, we're at 134 feet. So I'm going to take it to a maximum of 200 feet because I think that that is ridiculously far when you're dealing with wireless microphone systems. Very seldom would you ever need to go that far, if not any farther. And we will be stopping at 200 feet. Now, most of these microphone systems are rated for line of sight. That's why I'm walking backwards. You want to know why I'm walking backwards? Because line of sight is important when it comes to wireless microphones. And we're continuing on. And 200 feet. So I'm just going to bring it exactly to 200 feet. Right there. 200 feet right on the nose. So this is 200 feet. Can you hear me? How do I sound? I'm going to turn to the right. This is what it sounds like when I turn to the right. This is what it sounds like if I turn away. I'll probably cutting out some distortion. And now I'm going to turn over here. And this is the other side of me. How does it sound? Did I come back in? And this is me and the facing line of sight. Line of sight meaning, of course, the transmitter can see the receiver. It doesn't actually look for the receiver, but you get what I'm saying. It's actually in the same path of the receiver. If I can see the receiver, that's what they refer to as line of sight. So I'm going to walk back towards the receiver, and I'm going to count it out. 180, 175, 69, 158, and 145. And yes, I do take my testing seriously. You want to know the exact measurements of when these things cut in and out. Some people think that that information is crucial depending on where they're using it. This one here is 101, so that's 100 feet. We're at 94, 89, and I'll stop at 75. So 75 is an interesting number. So, oh, got some bugs eating at me. Oh, the bugs are bad today. So I'm going to turn to the right. This is if it's cutting in and out. And way, does it cut in and out at 75 feet? And is it back again at this? And I am getting chewed up because I am very tasty. I am very tasty. So you see me swatting at this guy. If you have a smartphone and you had another type of wireless microphone system that can hook up to a smartphone, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be your best choice for a smartphone. So this is why you tend to pick wireless microphone systems that are designed for what they are designed for. And this one is specific to smartphones. And because it has both jacks on it for iPhone and Android, you don't have to worry about looking for a connector or anything like that. You just plug it in and away you go. So now I'm going to turn on the noise cancellation. And this one is pretty easy to find because I just have to turn this little switch here to the downward position. So this is noise cancellation on, and this is what it sounds like. So this is noise cancellation on, and we've got a little bit of noises going on in the background, cars, things like that. There's a highway over there. And it just seems like on cue, the minute I activate the noise cancellation, there's cars running around and they're making noises and they're revving their engines and things like that. So we've been pretty fortunate that way. The world is on cue. So now I'm going to see if this one has reverb, because the other one did have reverb. I'm just going to check it out. And I believe it does. Okay, so this is reverb. It wasn't hard to figure out. I find that the lite microphone system, the transmitters, it's easier to read the display than on the mic active. And it has to do with the size of the transmitter. So these ones are a little bit bigger. But I also think that there could be an advantage in that they're more glove friendly. So I noticed that when I put them on and on, it's easier to get them on and off your clothes. The other ones are a little shorter, so it's a little more difficult. So as far as user friendliness goes, I kind of like this one as far as how it attaches to clothes and things like that. Anyways, that is the conclusion of the outdoor test, and this is what reverb sounds like. So we're going to go back to the studio and talk about this some more. Okay, so now I've got it hooked up to the Osmo Pocket 3. I can see my levels on the screen. So it works really well with the Osmo Pocket 3. So if you wanted to know if it doesn't just work with a cell phone, but it also works with the Osmo Pocket 3, and I bet it's also going to work with the action cameras as well. And get that little extension thing that I showed you, because it's going to come in handy for that. Because I noticed that when I hook it up to the Osmo Pocket 3, I need a little bit more space. So I plugged it in there and it worked just fine. So right now, I don't have the noise cancellation on. So this is what it sounds like. Can you hear the fan? Can you hear all the other noises? I'm just going to be quiet for a second. And now I'm going to turn on the noise cancellation feature. I just flick the little switch down. So this is what noise cancellation sounds like when you activate it in a studio environment. Can you hear the fan? Can you hear any other noises? Now I'm going to activate reverb along with the noise cancellation. So this is reverb. Now I should sound like I'm in a stadium, ready to sing the national anthem. This is what the reverb sounds like. And this is with reverb and noise cancellation on together. Now this is with noise cancellation off, but reverb is still on. Reverb is on, noise cancellation is off. And that's what that sounds like. So let's turn that reverb off. So I'm going to turn the noise cancellation back on because I have background noise. And hopefully that will help with any ambient noise. So this microphone system is less money than the other one. So I'm going to put a price on this one. So I'm going to put the specifications of this microphone system in the corner so that you know how long the transmitters last when they're fully charged. You don't have to worry about the receiver on this one because the receiver doesn't require any charging because it works off of your phone. So that is the difference between this one and the mic active, is the mic active has to be charged and this one runs off the device itself. So right now, the Osmo Pocket 3 is powering the receiver for this transmitter. So I don't have to worry about charging that, just the transmitters. So what are the things I didn't like about this microphone system? Well, it didn't come in a case like a carry case, and neither did the other one. However, you can go to the dollar store and pick up a nice carry case that'll hold not only this one, but the other one as well for about $3. So it's not a deal breaker, but it would have been nice if they had have included one. So the other thing that I would like to see is I had to use that little extension thing that I showed you to get it to work on some devices. Because you have the two connectors side by side, they can kind of interfere with each other if you go to plug them into certain things. So I think they should have included a cable or an extension or something of that nature. It would have been a good idea. So the one thing I would like to mention is that the wind muffs on the mic Lite are better than the ones on the mic Active. So they tend to hold on a lot tighter and they don't come off as easily. Would I recommend this microphone system? Well, it depends on who you are. So if you're doing a lot of YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, you're using your phone, I think this is a good setup for you. As I said in many of my videos, microphones are tools, and you got to pick the right tool for the right job. And I think that this one works really well with phones, action cameras, and it appears to be working with the Osmo Pocket 3 pretty good as well. It has decent noise cancellation. It also has that reverb feature. I also like the charging case and how the charging case works. I would have recommended that instead of putting the charging port on the bottom of it, that they would put it on the back. So the next generation of microphone system, I would like to see the charging port be moved from the bottom to the back, and that way you can set it down when you're charging it. So that's it for this video. So if you'd like to see the video that I did on the mic Active, well, I'm going to put the end screen right here, and that way you can just click on it and you can go to that video and you can compare the two microphone systems from Udfine, see which one is the right one for you, because that's what it's all about, the one that you need. So take care, be safe at work, and I will see you at the next video. Bye.